Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to start our new unit and we're going to be looking all about the continent of Europe. So we're going to look at physical geography, political geography, some population, and we're going to break Europe into regions as well. Our first topic is going to be the political geography of Europe. So we're going to look at the map of Europe and how it's divided into countries. But before we do that, let's take a look at where Europe is in relation to the other continents. So here, highlighted in orange, is Europe. And if we go west across the Atlantic Ocean, this is our continent of North America. So Europe is located with Asia and Africa, part of this whole big landmass. Now, the continent of Europe itself, if we look at the map, one thing you're going to notice is there's a lot of countries in Europe. And most of the countries in Europe are smaller in sizes. In fact, the map of the countries of Europe looks similar to maybe how we break down our states in the whole United States. Except the United States is just one big country. Europe, the continent, is broken into many different countries. And that absolutely has to do with its history. Now, how many countries does Europe have? It has 47 countries. Now, there are a few countries that you could say, is it in Asia or is it in Europe? And the answer to that is yes, there are countries that we can consider both part of Europe and part of Asia, such as Russia and Turkey. So, when looking at Europe, compared to the other continents, Europe is the second smallest continent. And the only other continent that is smaller than Europe is Australia. Now, the biggest country in Europe is Russia. Yes, not all of Russia is in Europe. Russia spans across two continents, Europe and Asia. But even the part that is in Europe of Russia is much bigger than other countries in Europe. The smallest country is the Vatican City. And we're going to take a closer look here at Vatican City and see maybe just how small it is. So here's a new word for us, an enclave. An enclave is a country inside of another country. And in Europe, they have two of these enclaves. So in the country of Italy, there are actually two very small countries, they call them micro countries, two small countries that are actually inside of Italy. So the two countries of the Vatican City and San Marino, Vatican City and San Marino on the map, they are their own separate countries, but they are completely within another country. There's only one other enclave like this in the world, and that is Lesotho, which is in the country of South Africa on the African continent. So both of those countries, small countries, are inside of Italy. Now, the Vatican City, let's take a look at it. The Vatican City is actually not just within Italy, it's contained entirely within the capital city of Rome in Italy. This map outlines how big the Vatican City is. And you're thinking, well, that's not very big. How is that a country? Well, the Vatican City is actually the headquarters of the Catholic Church. The Pope, who is the spiritual head of the Catholic Church, resides there, along with some of the other officials within the Catholic Church. Now, the population is about 825 people, and those would all be officials within the Catholic Church. How big is it? Well, the Vatican City is about 109 acres in size. To put that in perspective, the high school's property up here, now we own some of the wooded area, the high school's property is about 125 acres in size. So we have a country in Italy that's actually smaller than the high school's property.
Vatican City, and I'm going to check out the museums, the Sistine Chapel, St. Peter's Basilica, and all the wonderful paintings from Michelangelo and Raphael. And here's something pretty cool about the Vatican City. It is the smallest country in the world. It's crazy to think that there's a country right here. Now I'm in Italy. Now I'm in the Vatican City. Now I'm in Italy. Now I'm in the Vatican City. So this is St. Peter's Square, and it is grand as you always see on Easter Sunday when there are thousands of people in the audience for the Pope. Wow, look at this. I am now inside of the St. Peter's Basilica, and this place is gigantic. It's the largest Catholic church. No other building in all of Rome can be built taller than this dome. Behind me is the entrance to the Sistine Chapel, and this is where Michelangelo is painting the famous painting, Touching the Finger. It is one of the most majestic things I've ever seen in my life. Colors are still as vibrant as they were yesterday, and the secret is they're fresco, and fresco in Italian means wet, and so they paint these when the plaster is wet, and it creates a chemical reaction that puts the paint like into the wall. So this painting is as bright as ever. We've all seen this painting behind me. It's one of the most famous paintings in the world. This is Raphael's first painting ever in the Vatican, and it includes all the greats. We have Michelangelo, Raphael, and Leonardo. It's incredible to think that I just toured an entire country in just 3 hours, and it was so beautiful. There was so much to see, all the paintings, the chapels, the Sistine, and no wonder why this is in every single history book in the world.
So I showed you the influence there of the Catholic Church with its cathedrals and the basilica there. Now the other small country in Italy that's an enclave is San Marino. San Marino is a little different. It has nothing to do with the Catholic Church. It just is its own country, and it has been for hundreds and hundreds of years. And it has a population of about 33,000 people. Bedford County, the county that we live in, is just under 50,000 people. So here's a whole country, 33,000 people. At its widest point, it's 8 miles wide. Now what I think is neat about San Marino is the center point is a hillside, and you'll see in the video that there's a little town here along this hillside with the surrounding area. That's San Marino. Now, San Marino is not the second smallest country in the world. That's Monaco. We'll get to that later. But it is the third smallest country in Europe. So Europe has a lot of small micro countries. It's the third smallest in Europe. Not third smallest in the world, just the third smallest in Europe. So very unique, very old country in Europe. So let's continue on. At some of the other micro countries, small countries within the continent of Europe, we have Andorra, Monaco, and Liechtenstein. To show them on the map, here you have Andorra, which is between the border of Spain and France. Monaco's in southeast France, and then you have Liechtenstein between Switzerland and Austria. Now these are very small countries, but we're going to show you one of them, and that's Monaco. Monaco is the second smallest country in the world. So, how small is Monaco? Well, it's technically only 0.81 square miles. How big is that? Well, the town of Everett would probably be bigger than that in terms of size and square miles. The town of Everett, for the borough, has about 1,700 people. The whole country of Monaco, in that small 0.81 square miles, has 38,000 people. And you can see Monaco looks a lot different than what our little area of Everett is. Monaco is one of the richest, wealthiest places in the world, known for its famous Monte Carlo casino. right, so that's our introduction today to Europe and its political geography, looking at some of the countries in Europe. What you're going to need to do next is go into Google Classroom, and we looked at some of the small countries. You're going to now look at all of the countries in Europe on a blank map. So your task is going to be identifying and locating all 47 of those countries in Europe. So go ahead and complete that in Google Classroom. If you have any questions, reach out to me. We'll see you next time.